Hello everyone, welcome in today's trading session. Today is the 9th of April 2024. And you can probably spot that I wasn't uploading for a few days or maybe a few weeks. Basically, the same thing happened as before. I was not doing very well in terms of my performance. So I was trading basically just by myself and not doing anything in terms of recording. I did a few recordings before, but nothing that I wanted to upload, just something for myself. So basically, I'm still just struggling and trying to perfect my patience, my rules for my model. I'm still trading the same thing. It still works, it's still really good, but it's just I am basically ruining my progress all the way. So I just need to fix myself, nothing in terms of trading. I just need to focus on myself, how I react, how I read the price, and just focus on one trade per day. And I think I will be in a good spot. But let's see how I will perform today. So I already have some profits. I'm still trading on a new funded account. Currently, I'm quite high in terms of profit. Nothing that ridiculously high, but let's say high for myself. And if I have a losing trade in a first video after some while, it's going to be not that nice, but it can happen because, as I said, I had, I think, 5 days in a row where I had the winning trade. So I think it's just about time when I will have a losing trade. Also to note, tomorrow I'm going to check economic calendar. Today we have nothing in the market anymore. They're just this one at 10, but I'm not sure how volatile this is going to be, so I'm not really paying much attention to this one. And we have CPI tomorrow. So we have CPI tomorrow. So that's something to know that maybe today isn't going to be that much low resistance liquidity run, but let's see what the market can present us for models and such. So I will still be doing the same thing as I was doing before because I think there's nothing that I should be changing. And I think there is nothing that I should even, let's say, add or anything in terms of how I read the price, because that's not that causes the problems. It's just me and how I behave, my emotions. So let's start off again as usual. I'm going to firstly check ES. So on the weekly chart, I can see we are trading inside this weekly fair value gap. We have traded last week into these down close candles, and we respected those and came back and closed almost inside the fair value gap, but now we are still trading inside it. On the daily chart, it looks quite different. We have made a high, a low, a higher high, and then we had the displacement lower. During this displacement as well, we can see there was a small fair value gap here on the daily chart, which we have traded to and then fall down. I also have the fair value gap here. And then also inside this price range, we have this daily breaker. This daily breaker has not yet been violated so far. At least once we have made this move downwards to confirm that this is really a breaker. And we are now also trading at least at the body, at the low of the body. So if we are really going to see some bearish movements, we should be respecting this daily breaker on ES, and we should be going lower from this point on. But also to note, on the daily chart, we can see we are really strongly bullish. So it's really tough to say if we are going to expect the lower prices now, or if it will just continue going higher again. So on the daily chart, there is nothing that I can say with confidence the way where I think the market will go, because from this high and to this low, we came back to equilibrium of the price range. So really the market can go either direction. So this will be difficult. I think for today, I'm going to strike for just some small scalp, 20 handles as usual. And I'm not going to even do partials. I'm just going to 20 handles. Well, it depends how the market behaves. If there is going to be really like a amazing and best setup that I can spot, maybe I'll try to partial, but I probably will stick just with. I'll just stick with 20 handles. So here is a 4-hour fair value gap, which has been traded to already, and we see that the market respected it. It closed above it quite far, and it's still trading inside this range. So we had a huge displacement on Thursday last week. This was on ES around 100 handle plus. On NASDAQ it was around 400 handles. And we can see how nicely it respected the daily fair value gap CB. And also here's a 4-hour fair value gap as well higher. And we have closed the bodies at the 4-hour fair value gap at the midpoint. Also traded inside this one. And didn't come back into this one and shut down. So now we are coming back again into this price range. I'm probably seeing that really we are going to respect the daily breaker, but I'm not going to hold my bias really strong. So let's see what the market will present us. So that's it, what I can see on the 4-hour. There is really nothing else apart from this one that I can easily see. So then on the 1-hour chart, we can see during this price range from Friday until now, we're quite in a consolidation, just back and forth over here. So really not anything that stands out. Probably just because we are awaiting CPIs tomorrow, and that's when we can see really the market going aggressively to either direction. So on the 1-hour chart, I see here is a fair value gap, and here is a sell side liquidity. So this is something that I will mark as interesting points. And also here, there is really nothing that I can say that interests me even more. So we are just in a consolidation here. This line is the daily breaker low, the body of the candle. So going to the 15-minute chart, there is also a nice fair value gap right here. But I'm going to probably just leave it open. I'm going to see it regardless. So we are also really close to the buy side liquidity here. We were really close to taking out this high from yesterday, this high from Sunday, and this high from Friday lunch. So as we are really close to these levels, I'm thinking that at 9:30 or prior 9:30, this is going to be swept. And then if this is going to be swept, and if we are going to start reaching lower, I think that would be a really good opportunity or scenario as well that I would like to go short, basically. I was trying to trade yesterday and the market went down first. I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to short. The market went down first and I got FOMO'd really bad. And I was just chasing the price and not waiting for my model. And once the sell side liquidity was swept, then I had a model to go long. And I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to go down. And that just cost me again my patience, my FOMO. And that's really bad performance for me. So I hope I can today do better. On the 5-minute, we can see that this is actually the same fair value gap almost at each time frame. Okay, on the 5-minute, it goes here. On the 1-hour is here, and on the 15-minute, it's a bit smaller. But it's still a quite significant fair value gap, so I really like this one. So we might even drop down here first and then go for the buy side. Or we are going to take the buy side and then probably go down here and maybe for the sell side liquidity here. But that's it that I can see on ES, that there isn't really that much to do here, because as I said, we are in a consolidation over here. We haven't much moved from this price range. So we will need to see what's going to happen next. So now I'm going to go for NASDAQ. I have a few things highlighted here. So these orange shaded areas, these are new week opening gaps. I'm really paying attention to the new week opening gaps, because if you even check here, how the new week opening gap really like holded the price. This was at 9:30. During this day, I was even shorting here, and I was able to catch this move to the downside. And then also at lunch, you can see it repriced again, the new week opening gap, and then shot down like 400 handles to again a previous new week opening gap. So these new week opening gaps really, really work. So I think the new week opening gap starts somewhere around here. So this is from Friday to Sunday. This is the gap. You can see here also on Tuesday, 19th of March, it really worked. Closed in the midpoint, then repriced again, and went higher. So really these new week opening gaps work really strong. Also here you can see also here trading inside a lot. So that's why I have quite a lot of them in here. Now it's 9:17 and we can already see the market taking out the buy side liquidity. I'm seeing on ES the same thing. So we are already doing some movements. These are equal lows, which I like. But also let me start firstly from the higher time frame I'm skipping. So NASDAQ, in my opinion, is in a much worse and higher time frame, let's say price action. We can see really for several weeks, and the bodies of the candles is just a box. It's really bad, and I don't really like this price action. To me, it's really tough. So I will need to be really careful with what I'm going to do. So we are again even in this BC right here, and this one I was mentioning in my previous videos, even before. The midpoint of this daily BC is almost the same as the midpoint of the new week opening gap, which is really interesting. And we have not yet even violated this daily BC, and we are still trading inside, going to the midpoint, and then going higher. To be honest, I'm annoyed for this daily BC for so much, because it's just holding the price, and I just don't know what I can expect. So on the daily chart, I'm not really sure what I can expect. We are also, I think, at the equilibrium of this price range. It should be somewhere at the equilibrium. There is no breaker as it was on ES. So that's why this just back and forth trading and a lot of wicks on the daily chart, it's really difficult. Really nothing that stands out on the daily chart. Only the liquidity pools on each side, at least on the daily chart. On the 4-hour, we have a liquidity pool over here and sell side liquidity resting below here. Also the 4-hour fair value gap here. And so I want to also, I will note it later. I'm just seeing that there is a fair value gap to go short, but I'm not going to take it because it's outside of my time frame. But I'm just seeing it that there is a possibility to go short now. But let's see. For now, I'm still wanting this to be swept probably until I go short, and also I need 9:30, so I need still 10 more minutes to go. So we are now on the 4-hour chart. I think there is a lot of buy side liquidity still resting here, and still a significant sell side liquidity resting here. So on the higher time frame, it's really tough for me to say where we are going. I would say we are still looking bullish. There wasn't that much showing us that we are going down, because even though we had a really strong movement to the downside, like 400 handles here, we are still coming back to the price range. So it's still really, really tough to say. So on the 4-hour chart, there is this fair value gap. I think I have it highlighted. Yes. This big daily BC. Sorry, CB. So on the 4-hour chart, I'm not seeing anything that much interesting anymore. There is also one 4-hour fair value gap here, but that's much lower from here, and this is already 150 handle, so I would not be even present here if it falls down here and I'm not even able to take any entry from it. On the 1 hour, it's also just within the range, consolidating a lot during Monday. Now we have quite a nice movement to the upside, going away from the new week opening gap. There are these equal lows which I really like, so that will be something that I would target. I'm not sure if we can expect the markets to take this buy side liquidity, maybe even going into this new week opening gap and then go lower. What I would like is from NASDAQ to take out this buy side liquidity, and around this point on, there will be a market structure shift on the 30-second chart. Or sorry, not even a market structure shift. I just need a displacement with fair value gap and take a short and reach over here for these lows. That's what I would like. I would really like to see the market already show us that we are going down. But let's see. On the 15-minute chart, there is a nice fair value gap over here. On the 1 hour chart, there is also a fair value gap here. But I'm not sure if I want to have so many areas here because it just overlaps with each other. I'm going to at least leave this one here. This is 1 hour. Oops. This is a 4-hour fair value gap. 15-minute. There's a nice fair value gap here as well, but this is probably something that I would target. I'm not sure if I have even SMT right now. Yes, I have. So we have SMT with ES over here. And as I said, there is a 30-second fair value gap, and it's still being it still holds the price. So if we have really SMT and the market is going to go for the sell side on NASDAQ, it will leave the buy side here. This is where it's going to happen. But as I said, this is outside of my trading time. Always prior 9:30, I'm just analyzing, and after 9:30, I'm shooting for a trade. So right now, even if there is any model, I'm not taking it. So we have already even swept these highs, but I will be still requiring this one. So we are now on the 15-minute chart. And in this price leg, I'm not seeing anything interesting apart from this fair value gap. So, and as I said, this is still just a consolidation, just back and forth trading. And we're just now seeing some displacement, but it's still within this range. On the 5-minute chart, there is a nice fair value gap over here, which I quite like because it wasn't yet traded inside. And in terms of sell side liquidity, it's really just these lows. For me, these lows are not really that much to be considered as a sell side liquidity for my model. For sure, there is resting sell side liquidity, but not something that I want to consider as a liquidity sweep in order to go long, let's say. So that's not something that I'm paying attention to. So on the 5-minute chart, there's nothing else apart from this fair value gap, but it's inside the new week opening gap. As I said, I just don't want to have so many things overlapping each other. Even this 1 hour fair value gap is something that I quite would not want to have here, but I will just for the video over here. And let's see. So we can see how market is really stagnant right now. As I mentioned, we have taken out the buy side on ES. Over here on ES it was taken out. On NASDAQ it was not. And there is a 30-second fair value gap. I'm going to note it. 385.25. 386.25. So it's really like one handle, I think. But it's still being respected. It's not being violated that much. So yeah, the 10 handle stop loss would be almost at the high of this this wick. So if we are going to respect it, and we have a real SMT here, the NASDAQ will not be able to go for the high. This will be a really good trade. But I will need to still wait 3 more minutes. So I'm not going to take anything. So I pretty much scouted everything that I wanted. So I would like to go short. I would like to see this buy side liquidity being swept, and around this area I would like to have a fair value gap on the 30-second chart to take short. So let's see if I can get that. And also SMT. But as we already have swept the liquidity on ES, I'm not sure if we will get SMT. But we will need to see what the market will do. Also, I'm going to mark the regular trading hours, the opening range gap. So this is going to be the low. I'm seeing there is also a new day opening gap. There is a gap over here. And it's quite high. It's from here to here, 6 handles. Oh, it's not that big. But we can see how the market was even stagnant around this area. Also over here, it repriced to the low, went down, and shoot up. So it might have some importance today, but that's also around the low of the opening range gap, also the low portion of the new week opening gap. So I'm just gonna leave it there, and I will just keep it in mind. So right now we are just scouting and waiting for the market to take out the buy side and show us willingness to go down from here and take a short. And if we will have an SMT, that will be really good. So we have 1 more minute to market open, and let's see what's going to happen. So even right now, this trade would be a losing trade. So that's why I'm not even taking it. Even though I have SMT, even though we have a buy side liquidity swept on either asset, it's just outside of my trading. So outside of my trading, let's say time. So that's why I'm not taking it. So now we are actually even getting an SMT. The ES is going quite down, trying to sweep some lows. This is nice, but I would like this high swept actually. I'm not sure if I will try to go short before this is going to be taken. I think I will need to demand it. So just showing the ES has made the equal high here, was going down. So I want the NASDAQ to take out this buy side liquidity. ES has made a new high, quite significant, like much higher. NASDAQ hasn't yet. Also to note, there is something that I forgot to say. In this price range, when we fell down from here, we're also at the midpoint. And also in OTE levels. So I'm not sure if we can expect really the market just go down from here. But I would like to have the buy side liquidity swept first. So we can see immediate reaction from ES. I might have a fair value gap, but it's quite running now, which I don't like. The fair value gap is quite big. So it's from 373.5, 15 handles. Yeah, that's too much. And it's running as well. I have SMT here, but I don't even think that the market will go here. That it will reprice into the fair value gap. It will need to go to 374.75. So we're here. And it already just went down 20 handles, so it's no longer a valid trade for me. So I'm not sure if I can expect here when certain lows are going to be swept. We came back into the 1 hour fair value gap. If the market will actually go up. And if I should be looking for a long. Because we have SMT on these lows. We touched the new week opening gap as well. Reprice 50% of the opening range. We have SMT here. Reprice the 1 hour fair value gap. But I would like to see immediate reaction. If I want to go long, I want to see immediate reaction. I don't want to see any stagnant or even going lower. It needs to go up now. So I can see that happening. But also what I don't want to see is the market just immediately go up. I want to have at least some form of a fair value gap. Okay, so the fair value gap is getting smaller, which I like. And I'm going to probably enter this. I'm going to enter it on my other monitor. So I have 10 more seconds. Even though I wanted to go short today, I still think it's going to go for the buy side. Because I don't think it will just leave it there. Hopefully we will get tapped in. And it will result in a profitable trade. We have a sell side liquidity swept. We have immediate reaction. And we have still a buy side to go for. Should be tapped in. So I'm taking this as a good trade. I really like this trade. I like it a lot. So I would really not be disappointed if I have a losing trade from here. So let's see how the market will reprice from now. And that's it. Really quick, 20 handles, amazing trade. I'm really satisfied how I was patient now. And I'm really glad with my performance right now. I was thinking to even close it out early, but I was thinking the trade is really good. Again, no drawdown. I had so many confluences. I had SMT, I had sell size liquidity swept, I had a 1 hour fair value gap repriced, I had touch of the new week opening gap high, I had immediate reaction from those levels, we had repriced the 50% of the opening range gap, and we were not yet even taking out the buy side liquidity, which I wanted to target first. And as we failed to do that, that was then my target. So I really do believe we are going to go here. I'm going to mark my trade execution. So 361. By the way, you can see my leverage now. So that's what I'm using right now. I'm using 10 micros. And my exit was 381. It's like this. So it was exactly 20 handles. So today with this trade, I'm up almost 400, like 389.6. So really the market just repriced a tiny bit inside the 30-second fair value gap. You can see that it went down just 1 or 2 ticks, just to fill you in. And you can see it's still going higher. So I was really in a good directional position, and I think this will result in this buy side liquidity and maybe even a 50 handle run from my entry. I'm just going to wait for this buy side liquidity to be swept, maybe even trying to check if it's going to give us a 50 handle potential. Let's say over here. Because I was thinking to hold at least something, but I'm quite high in my profits, and now I made even more. This was something that I was not expecting today. I was even expecting a losing trade. I'm really happy even with my really happy with still keeping the same leverage. Even when I'm up, I was not hesitant to take it. I was really forcing certain things to prevail. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but to present in the market for me to take the trade. And I'm really happy that it did present in a clear way. I was able to taper it really precisely and get like a sniper entry basically. And it's still running like, it resulted even in a 40 handle, so that's like 1 to 4. Really amazing. So let's just see if we get the 50 handles, and then I'm going to close the session. So for now, this is just checking how the market will reprice, and let's see. So I'm seeing that the NASDAQ is really, really high compared to where ES is. ES is, again, like somewhere, let's say, around here, the low which it formed. So it formed a low here, and it's like slowly coming back down here. So I'm not sure what I can expect from the NQ. So I think if it goes just down here somewhere around, I think I'm still going to close it, because I just don't want to sit in here and have a long recording. Because basically I'm done. And this is what I even like for that model. If I have a losing trade, I should immediately like close it. And when I take a trade, it's like after the open, it was 6 minutes until the open, and it was 1 minute until it gave me my TP. 1 minute. This is like nothing. So I'm really trading altogether like 40 minutes in a day. So I think I said when it's going to go down here, I'm going to close it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. So Thank you very much for watching. I'm really glad that I was able to keep my performance. I was able to make something at least from the markets, which is good, but that's not always the outcome. And I need to make sure that I will also think about it in that way, that it's not every day a winning trade or a winning day. So when I will have a losing day, I need to make sure that I will accept it, that it's a part of the game, and I will continue just sticking to my model, to the process, because as we can see, it's very, very clean, easy to understand, with a lot of things to demand from the market to do, and there is nothing that I should be just messing around and then losing all of my accounts again and again. So with that being said, I'm going to close the session. Thank you very much for watching. You can leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave anything on your mind in the comments, and I will see you in the next trading session, hopefully.